And as I said, J.J. Redick finally announced as the head coach of the Lakers. Long time coming. His name was out there all over the place. And he did say, I'll throw this out there, Martin, before we get to his the sound of him. But he did say that he and LeBron James will end their podcast, which was only common sense. I can't believe anybody thought that they might keep it going. Where were you on that? You got it in that. There's no way you could keep a podcast.
If you're doing like me and you're RTR rooting for radio, I wanted him to keep doing it just because.
Oh, it'd be great for us.
Exactly.
Yes.
It would have been
terrible for the locker room.
It would have been very much like Jerry Jones' post-game press conferences. It's like, I don't know why they do it, but I'll take advantage of it if you're going to go ahead and keep it on.
No, you're exactly right about that.
So I saw he say he was excommunicated from the content space, which is honestly, though, Chris, it's good for him because he was so very upset all the time about how if he trashed Doc Rivers, then he'd get 1 million views. But if he talked about Zion bringing the ball up the court for the Pelicans, it would only get a couple 100,000. Well, now he doesn't have to worry about that problem anymore.
That's right. All right, so here's what he said. One of the things he said at today's press conference with the Lakers.
What misconceptions or concerns about you that you've heard in the last few weeks are you the most looking forward to dispelling?
It's a valid question, and I've certainly heard everything. It's been a really interesting 6 weeks or so, just in terms of being part of the engagement farming industry. It's been really interesting. However, I don't really have a great answer for your question because I really don't give a honestly. I want to coach the Lakers. I want to coach the team. I don't want to dispel anything. I don't. I want to become a great coach in the NBA, and I want to win championships, and I want my players to maximize their careers. That's all I care about.
Martin Weiss, your thoughts?
I mean, I don't expect there was pretty much nothing that J.J. Redick could have done today in his press conference that would have impressed me. He's a media personality as of 2 days ago. So it doesn't surprise me that he can hold a microphone and sound good, right? In fact, it would have been more surprising if he didn't.
Right.
But when you're the head coach of an organization, save the Dallas Cowboys, you're supposed to be the front-facing guy. You are supposed to be the quote-unquote adult in the room. That doesn't mean that the players are just absolved of all maturity and responsibility, but it means the buck stops with you. I don't understand what he thinks he's doing when he comes out saying, I don't give a bleep about...
Oh, because he's cursing?
Yeah.
You don't like that?
No. Okay. You're the head coach of the team, and it's not okay, it's one thing. If you just lost a hotly contested game and you felt like you got boned by a bad call by the referee or something like that, and you're like, that's terrible, I'll pay the fine, right? But this is your introductory press conference. Who are you trying to prove? What are you trying to prove here? That you're cool and hip, or that you're just so oh, you know what? I don't even hear about the engagement farming business. You were just in the engagement farming business 2 weeks ago.
And he seemed like he cared what people were saying.
Exactly. So to me, when you come out there and show, first of all, swearing shows a lack of vocabulary in general.
Oh.
I mean, it is what it is. But when you come out there and to me, that's trying to show I'm so tough, I'm so cool. You can't nothing you reporters say can bother me or hang me up. Of course, there's misconceptions that he should want to dispel. Now, if you just want to say, you know what, I know there's a ton of misconceptions, but you know what? For me, my thing is, I want to go out and just be the best coach that I can be. I've never done this before. I'm trying to figure it out. And to his point, he had some answers that were like that, but they were kind of more jokey joke. I don't understand what's so damn funny. I don't know where he gets off saying I don't give a bleep, knowing that You've heard all of these since at least game one of the finals when he said earlier in his press conference that was when the Dan Hurley rumors started coming out. Like, it's just, to me, it shows it very well could be a sign that, outside of the resume and everything else, that maybe you're not ready for this. Maybe you're not ready to put the hat on that you think you are, because you should have a better answer to that question, or at least a better delivery to the answer to that question.
Okay, he spoke for 2 minutes before he cursed. But look, Martin Weiss, I respect what you said. I'd love to go back to a day and age when public people didn't curse, right? Where we didn't hear cursing in our music and in every rap song, every other bar and things like that.
Sure.
That would be great. But we ain't there anymore. And you don't think he's going to be cursing in practice?
Of
they
course
cursing
I do.
on the podcast. All right. I mean, I hear you, but I don't think that matters. In fact, it sounded like the audience loved it. Like they were yucking it, soaking it all up, taking it all in. Love that he said that. I bet you some of his players did too. And I'm not saying, like I said, I would rather him not, but I am not going to, and you know me, I don't curse. So I'm not trying to speak on behalf of us, all of us cursing. I'm just saying that I don't think that has anything to do with whether or not he's going to be successful. I don't think it's a bad sign, because we know the coaches and the players curse all the time. And now you're hearing it from guys, not only on the podcast, but you are hearing it from coaches and players here and there in press conferences, at parades when they win the championship. I remember when the Cavs won in 2016, I know people in Cleveland that left the parade because they were there with their children and LeBron was cursing up a storm. So it unfortunately, it's just a natural part of our environment today.
Notice who you said, though, Chris. LeBron. Player.
LeBron is the face of a franchise,
but player, though. It's different to me if Anthony Edwards or LeBron or whoever is is at the post game saying, I told him to stop effing fouling. That's different to me than if Chris Finch went up there and said, I told Karl-Anthony Towns to stop effing fouling, and he keeps fouling.
Why is it different, though? I mean, I get that they're the face, I guess, of the franchise, but people curse.
I just don't love it in the introductory press conference. And to me, it screams of tough guy behavior. It screams of I'm Teflon. There's nothing that you can say that can affect me. And that's what it feels like to me.
You think it's a front?
I do.
It's a front because look, I will say this: JJ did appear, and correct me if I'm wrong, he did appear to care. When he says I don't give a F, he did appear to give a F when it was happening. Right? When people would criticize him, or as he said, why people, they're more interested in me saying Doc, didn't do this right, or Doc didn't do a good job here than they are in me breaking down the X's and O's. He did seem to care. So I do get your point about that seems like a defense mechanism.
And it's not like JJ Redick doesn't know how to talk without cursing. He did it all NBA Finals. He did it all his whole entire career at ESPN. You didn't see JJ Redick slip up and be like, man, that was a bad effing play right there. Like, no.
You know what? I'm going to start calling you Father Martin Weiss. How about that?
Goodness gracious.
I like it. I'm down. You heard the intro. I'm down with that, Martin. Father Weiss.
To me, it's like, I don't know what you're doing here. To me, the extra bravado at the press conference, to me, really, we have Brady Hoke to blame for this, because once he said, I will walk over mountains to come coach Michigan, and then proceeded to stink for most of the entirety that he was there.
Wow, you going way back.
Well, that's when I decided I was like, I'll never buy an opening press conference again.
Yeah, that's a wound there. That's a traumatic wound there. I can see you bringing up Brady freaking Hoke.
But Chris, that I don't give a F moment right there, watch if they struggle off the top and they come out and they're, 10-15 through the first 25 games, and somebody asks him a question and he has a hefty response. You know what you're going to see all through social media? You know what you'll be doing the next day on TV? Talking about, I thought you didn't give an F what people had to say.
No, we will. Absolutely.
Exactly. So I was like,
All
why
right.
would you do that, Mr. Savvy Media Personality, just turned head coach? You should know the media better than coaching at this point.